All right, everybody, we're back. And Dr. Thomas is here. I am here. I am so sorry. I send out so many apologies, but thank you for being here with us. Please like, share, and comment. And also feel free to drop us a comment in the chat box and also ask any questions as we start this conversation today. Because that's what it's about. It's about having a conversation with you, having a conversation with each other, and all of us learning from each other, taking those steps wherever we are and moving forward. So the topic today was really just us really kind of putting who we are and why we're here out there. Because I know that for many people, they're coming to these conversations because they're very much needed. You know, there's a lot of energy out there, and that energy is awakening people. People's spiritual DNA is coming online, and they're not sure what to do with that. So thank you for being here today and dealing with my mommy brain.
Mommy brain, hey, we all get that. Mommy brain, daddy brain. Just woohoo. I mean, I think I've been going since 5 o'clock this morning, and not going to stop. Who knows to when? Um, it just keeps on going and going, and yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a
Well,
long day, but we're here.
yeah, we are, and that's the important thing. We're here. So, would you be willing to maybe talk about your who you are and why you're being compelled to be having these conversations privately, publicly, everywhere?
We have to talk about this stuff. Oh my goodness! So I think I'm just sharing myself out one more spot. I think I need to, or am I good? I think I'm good with that. Uh, Hold on. Here we go. Just a few more. So, who am I? Why am I here? What am I doing? I don't really know who I am. That's the fun part about this. Um, myself. This is all in the grand scheme of things new for me. Um, I've been through a lot in the past few years, and I started just listening to myself and started to listening what resonates with me and where I'm at. And so that's where I got where I am today. I mean, it started off for me. It really started off for me when things changed in my life. And I went through, what I found, I do this research. I talked to a lot of people that have very similar uh, beliefs or have the spirituality comes with them. And a similar thing I found in everyone in the research I've done is there's been some traumatic event that has just triggered
Mm-hmm.
something that took that person and made them into someone that's going to think differently and see things differently. Some whatever event it was, a lot of times, unfortunately, it's like an actual traumatic event or a tough situation, a challenge that this person has had to overcome. And as it went overcome, they started thinking and questioning, and then things happened to them. They started being more in touch with their soul, like we kind of talked about the other week, more in touch with their intuition. And for me, it was strange. The one day, this is back in 2019, very beginning, the one day I said, screw it. This one person was resonating with me. I don't know why. I hadn't talked to that person in 20 years. 20 years.
Wow.
And I reached out to them because I saw that she would post some things that are some spiritual stuff and like astrological. I'm like, tell me what you believe. What are you getting at here? I went from, I was raised Catholic, raised Catholic, and I went from, during this trauma, this experience, I went from going to mass regularly to then trying different churches and different things and religion and feeling what was there. But I randomly, that one February, I reached out to this person saying, hey, tell me a little bit more about what you post on here and what is this? And we just started talking, and we ended up like helping each other out a little bit because she ended up was going through something similar to me, and we just started talking and was helping each other. And as we went through that, to me, that was like a first click. I was like, okay, we're moving you now. We're making this transition for you. Because as I grew over those next, I'm going to say 8 months, 10 months, without knowing it, I started changing. And I remember she would talk about going to Reiki or
Mm-hmm.
having Reiki would come to her. She had a handful of kids. Reiki would come to her and set up and she'd give her Reiki at her house. And I'm like, well, I went to Reiki once a few years before then, and I tell you, it felt like it was nothing more than a light massage.
Mm.
And I thought, well, I don't know, whatever. And one day, it was in October of 2018, I think, 19, one of the two. One day, I'm at an event, and I was just called to this one table that was set up at this craft fair, whatever it was, and I just wanted a new necklace.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to this person, and she's like, "Well, I'm like, the necklaces are a little small, but the prices are great." I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't know what I want or need." She goes, "Oh, I can help you out. We can talk and show you some other things. I have all this stuff I do." And she gives me her card, and it says healer on it. I'm like, "Oh, I need a healer." Out of the blue, I go, "I need a healer." And so she goes, "Well, let's set up an appointment then. And then when we do the session, I'll intuit and find out what type of crystal you need, and we'll go from there." So I laugh because I'm not going to go through the whole story here. But is a big. I go to that session, and what happened at that session, I'm not going to talk about.
Sure.
But she goes in the very beginning as I'm laying there at the table. My hands are on my chest. I'm laying down there. They're as tight as can be interwoven, and I'm just focused on one thing. The one person I've been talking to that's helped me through this. I'm like thinking about her for some reason. But I'm laying there. I don't really know what happens. I don't. Well, I don't, but I do. But afterwards, she goes to me. "Do you know what happened?" And I sit there at the table. Now I'm playing dumb. Okay, I'm a doctor. Yes, I am a doctor. I'm a PhD. You can call me Thomas. That's perfectly fine. But I am, I am a PhD. And so I criticize. I need proof. You got to validate with me. You got to verify things with me. So I play dumb and I say, "No, what happened?" And she goes, I've not, no, like when you were down in the beginning, like I lost you. Like I couldn't find you. Like, physically, I was there, which is
Right.
like when she does her energy and her healing, she normally taps into the person's energy. And as you do, you get your energy taps in when you're doing this healing. And in her case, normally like a guide will come through or someone from the past life will give a message. And she
Mm-hmm.
goes, "I couldn't reach you. You were
Mm-hmm.
breathing so heavily, I couldn't reach you." And then she says what she saw.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "Don't worry. We did this whole thing. My guides are telling me don't stop, keep on going, just keep going." And I said to her, "Okay, so I'm putting it nicely. When did the light get brighter?" See, I'm changing the words now. God, I'm changing my tone. I'm like, what? So when did the light get brighter? And I think you know what it means, and I know spiritual probably knows what it means. But she goes, I was on your right hand side. And I go to her, "I know." So she went around me. She was on my right hand side. At that moment, I'm in this state, and these two orbs come on above me, circling me. Beautiful. And they leave, and I say, "No, come back."
Mm-hmm.
And they come back. What happens next was a verification, validation of everything she said.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw next, I won't describe. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't light.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at that moment I knew it had gone. I had been changed. And it was funny because she goes to me at the end. Normally these a guide and someone from past life will come in. She goes, "I saw a guide, but he was very fuzzy,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't very clear." And then there was this little boy, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'm thinking to myself, okay, miscarriages, whatever, this little boy. And so I make the mistake of asking, "So who's the boy?" And she goes to me, "It was you when the darkness took over."
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "What it did is it prevented you from being a man, not in a physical sense, but in who you're supposed to be."
Mm-hmm.
And I laughed because just that morning, seriously, just that morning, I was at the gym and I was helping the trainer, and I had been talking with this trainer for a couple months. She was young, she was having boyfriend problems, all these issues, and I was just helping her, giving her advice. Like, no, this is the problem with men. Don't do this, and they don't do that, and they miss out on things. You don't listen. They're trying to always give advice. They're not in tune with this true self themselves. They're trying to be a stereotype. And she goes to me, "You need to start teaching men how to become a man."
Mm.
And I say that, I'm like, you're right. But if you would have told me that a year ago, I would have laughed at you because it wasn't right. And then the same day, this all happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, my goodness, this is a change. And I've never felt, from that moment on, the peace I felt that day, I never felt before. I had it for the first time, and I had this love and this peace. And all I can say is within the next month, amazing things started happening. I met one of my soulmates. We have multiple soulmates. Someone a couple weeks ago talked about twin flames and stuff. We have multiple soul contracts, multiple soulmates. They change as we go and evolve. And she and we met, and she actually opened me up. I saw her souls talking. I mean, literally talking in front of me. And I'm like, that was the first time I had something like that type of experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then from then, I kept on going, and it was a slow process. It's a slow process.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having the first day I ever bought a deck of cards. First day ever. The night before, I bought my first 3 crystals, an amethyst, selenite, and a lapis. Small things I got. And I said, what the heck? I'll buy a deck of cards too. I don't know how to read cards, don't know anything. A short end of the story is that morning I meditated. And for the first time during this meditation, my guides appeared.
Mm-hmm.
And before I went to bed that night, I did something not foolish, but I did something that I doubted in myself. I'm like, is this true? Is this really true? And I went to this meditation, and my guide looked at me and said, box 42. Now behind her were all these bank vaults. It was like she was at a bar, but there's bank vaults behind her. She says box 42. Like, okay. And then I see my other guide, and he tells me live for people. All right. So other things happen, and then I'm like, no. She meant card 42. I'm like, really? And so I had not opened this up. I had no idea what I was doing. I take this oracle deck, it was Egyptian cards, and I put my selenite wand on it. I'm like, just give it, I don't know what. Then I unwrapped it. So it wasn't even opened up. I didn't know it. I knew it had 44 cards. Had no idea if they were numbered. Nothing. And I go and I see the first one says number 1. So I'm like, I need card 42. Without giving what I said, what it saw, or what it was, or what I needed the question to. There was no other card on the deck. In fact, I've not seen many cards like that. They would give me verbatim in the one word it said, gave me the exact answer that I was right. And I knew what was going on, and I knew what was happening to me. And I'll share it because it was, I knew I was supposed to have, I knew that I could have had a child with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, it's not real. It wasn't happening anymore. We moved past that.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew the name.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, is this true? Am I really right to say this, to think this?
Mm-hmm.
And the card that came out was the pregnancy card.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went, I swore. I'm like, okay, I get it. I mean, how can you, there's no way to explain. I've never opened that deck before. That was the one thing I was worried about all night. What did I was right saying that to this person, saying, hey, I know something. I'm just saying, wherever we're at, I just know this is what was destined. It's not happening anymore. And it came out that way. And then I just had to go on my journey. And, you know, I did my Reiki in November. I had some other darkness and light come in and sending me higher. And I did my Reiki 2 in February. So I can give Reiki, but I was told, and here's the neat thing about this. I'm taking all the time talking. See what happens when I talk? You say, go take it away, and I just talk.
No, that's what today's about. Yeah, today's about introducing ourselves. And, you know, I love that you learned very early, because it took me much longer than it took you to be get into those synchronistic moments and run with them and trust them. And so,
Right.
I think that what you're really allowing people to understand is that it's okay to trust and act on those synchronicities and
Right.
those nudges. And I love that is, how your early journey really opened you up, and it was like one thing took you to the next, to the next, to the next, and it. I think a lot of folks who are on this journey, especially just starting, they need that confirmation that it's okay to follow those
Hmm.
synchronicities, and it's okay to
Absolutely.
trust your gut. And so, I love that, you were able to kind of step into that, because for me, the beginning of my journey was very much more stop and start. I was taking a medium, not a medium. I was taking I had met a medium. I'd worked with her. I'd had readings from her. She kept telling me that I had a gift. I kept going, no, 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 I don't. And so that, a few years later, she's like, I had a reading with her, and she's like, I'm going to do a meditation circle. I'd like you to come. And I was like, I can do a meditation circle. Okay. But what you have to understand is my whole life I'd been getting messages. My whole life I'd been following my gut. My whole life I had known that I had somebody that was really right here taking care of me in a way that I wasn't being taken care of in the physical. But in this meditation class, like you, I was raised Catholic. And so in the first meditation, I have a guide come through, and it is Jesus. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is Jesus standing in front of me. And I'm going to be honest with you, Thomas, it scared me, because I thought, who am I for him to appear to me? I'm just little old me, and this is Jesus. And, he's the Son of God, and he's, we've been looking up to him for my whole life, going to church. And, so I felt very, very like, oh, this is too big. This is too much. So again, nope, I'm not a medium. I don't have these gifts, but I did enjoy the meditations. So I kept going to the meditation circle. And then it got bigger and more people joined, and she kept saying, you're a medium. And I kept going, no, I'm not. Actually, it was more, no, I'm not, because I was a little afraid of it. I think there was more fear than anything. And so as we went on, it was probably the second time she formed a circle or a group, and I was a part of the second one. We had more people who were more gifted, really ready to step into their medium abilities. And so we were sitting around a table after about 5 or 6 months, because it was like once a month we get together. And it was like we'd had a huge, beautiful meditation. And it was to the point where she was like, I really want you to pair up and really start practicing with each other. And so at the end of the pairing up, and the pairing up went okay. I felt things. I kind of thought I saw things, but I still was doing, I'm not a medium. Nope, not me. And we were sitting around the table, and then we were reading for each other kind of across the table, and doing it like right in front of each other. So we were all a part of it. And it got to be my turn. And lo and behold, didn't the spirit come in? I could see her clear as day. I could see what she was trying to say. I could hear what she wanted to convey. And I was like, holy camole, this really just happened. And I'm a medium. And so it was right at, it was after that again, I, like you, I got crystals, and I bought an oracle deck, and I started pulling cards, but I was still really kind of going, I don't know about the whole medium thing, right? I'll pull cards. That's safe. That's easy. That's safe. But being a medium can be very daunting and very kind of scary until you kind of really build that relationship with your team of guides, angels, and ascended masters. And that takes time. So, that is where I started. Like, I was doing the whole pushback, like, no, not me. Where I love that you just embraced the synchronicities. It was very kind of like, it was almost like you were just curious, like, okay, let me see what
I didn't embrace. I was, I was like, prove it to me. And I seriously like, prove it to me. And hence they had to do what they did. And I remember there a few times, like, ooh, things were happening. And I knew things were going to happen. But, I needed the proof. I needed to be told, yes, and you're doing things right. And I can sit back here now, and I can come back and give you proof for everything that happened. Like, give me another reason why this happened this way. I mean, trust me, if my credit score was what it was like, there's no way in the world I should have been approved for a loan for a brand new car. Okay, but I did, and there's a whole, I can get the rationale, but it was also one, prove it, but two, as you said, okay, let me work on it. And how can I work on it to become better? Now, I will admit, and you were talking earlier, you used to do this Sheila, and you talked to her and stuff. I used to do a lot of Legends Day show,
Mhm.
and she would call me out on this all the time. And she called me Muy Malo, because she would say, you're just skipping steps. You
Oh,
go from here to here, and then the next thing that would always happen is I get kicked back down to here.
oh,
And like I knew I could make the jump, but I was missing here and here. And so now I'm at a point where I need to listen to that, and it's okay. I'm taking the steps, and it's not a rush. It's not a race. It's about always moving. It's always moving forward. I mean, even like when I was told I was giving my Reiki 2, and I was told I was giving my Reiki 2, and it was literally the whole point was not for me to give Reiki to anyone. I was told you're getting your Reiki 2 just to heal yourself right now.
I love it.
And so, Reiki 1, you can heal, and you can heal from where you are. Reiki 2, you can do distance healing. Reiki 3, you can teach. And that's how it typically is. Some schools have like 12 layers and different things. And over the past few weeks, I've been feeling, I've always known that my healing would be different than Reiki
Mm.
in different period.
Mhm.
And it has. I can prove, I have the evidence, and I've seen this happen. But it really came to after a couple of weeks of just having these like weird thoughts and like about it. It came to me the other night. I'm not. I don't need to do it.
Right,
It's not that it's not helpful. It's just it doesn't
right.
resonate with me anymore. I
No,
heal a different way.
I took Reiki 1 and I heard very intuitively that I didn't need any more Reiki. So I've never gone farther with the Reiki. So I totally get that. And like you, like after I had that experience in the meditation, like I needed the proof. Like I needed to know, how did this work? How am I getting in connection? Why is this working for me? And I started doing what I call like putting a master's class together for myself. So I read a ton of books, some of them science based, some of them, written by doctors, and then some of
Mm-hmm.
them, the esoteric or the channeled books. So for me, it really was, I also, which is why I think that I've gone the route of teaching, because I put so much information together that I thought, oh, I want other people to know this, because everybody can do this if you take the steps. And so I get like needing the validation or needing the how and the why. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, like if you and listen to your intuition, if you listen to your higher self, they will tell you what you need. And so getting the Reiki attunement for me, literally Reiki 1, all I wanted was the attunement. Like I went to class, I enjoyed class, but I was just waiting for the attunement because I knew that's why I was there. And I knew that I would never, I've given Reiki sessions, but it wasn't my passion or my calling. And healing overall is probably not my calling. I do it, I enjoy it, I love it, but it's the teaching. I feel like it's my calling.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what really
Right.
energizes me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hello, Hatija. Hello, Melissa. Hey, Krista. Welcome, Kim. So ladies, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box. Or if you want to share some of your experience or where you are on your journey, we would love that. But that's what this is all about today. Just
Yep.
really talking about where we are, how we got here. So where
And I have
are
to
you?
jump off in like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Because I have a meeting at 4:45. But I'll share you as I go through this. One nice thing I've also learned is like I did this a lot this month and this past year. I bring up I'm not bringing up the guitar to say, oh look, I play the guitar, but I found this was like they showed me. They said I had to be played. I have to do this, and I had to do this, and I went for a whole 2 months this year already, taking requests from people, and I would
Nice.
go live and just do a song, and it wasn't about me saying, "Oh, look, I can do." Because trust me, I did not sound good in some of the songs. I had no idea what I was playing in some of the songs. I made it up as I went, but it was about what people, the message of the words, and what people needed to hear at that time, the inspiration of that. It goes back to the healing. It goes back to the teaching, as you said. I never wanted to do cards. It never resonated with me. Can I? Yes. Can we? Yes. Have I done mediums? Yeah, I've channeled a few. I've not channeled. I've done that a few times, but it wasn't not. Everyone's got our own journeys. We have our own guides, we have our own plans, we have our own purposes, and we can do a lot. But whatever resonates with us at the time. But
Mhm.
then knowing that you can resonate more and you can do more. I mean, I had no idea I'd speak light language until November when all of a sudden it just came out of me. And now I do it all the time.
Mhm.
And what's going to happen next? I'm not going to share, but I know what's kind of part of what's happening next. I already
Yay.
see it, and
Yay.
it's all this stuff that you just never know. But I see a lot of people. And this is the last thing I'll say before I have to go. But I see a lot of people stopping. They reach
Mhm.
a plateau, and they
Mhm.
see this beautiful scenery, like I can live here forever. Not realizing if they went 10 more feet up, they get twice the view. 10 more feet up in there, and it's never ending mountain or never ending stream, never ending outlet. But if we just keep on going and learning, uh, we can find so many gifts in what we have inside of us. Uh, but yeah,
No, you're absolutely right. And that really goes to a dream that I had this week where, because I was getting a little frustrated about, like, why am I not getting to the destination? And they really, in the dream, showed me there's no destination. You're just going to keep climbing higher and higher. And so to stay on the journey and just enjoy it along the way. And really, the urgency I wanted to say that you were talking about, that's fear energy. So yeah, we have to let go of the urgency and just settle into and surrender to the process. Everything will unfold. So thank you
exactly.
for joining me here today. I appreciate it.
Ryan, thank you. We did good.
Yes.
Came out a little late, but we made it. And
Thank you.
it's nice to share our stories. But you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. We'll be here next week. Same bad time, same bad channel, but normal bad time and the normal bad channel. We get that. And if there's something you want us to talk about, just shoot in the comments and let us know. Um, and if there's a song you want me to play for you, shoot in the comments too, because I brought the guitar. I'll play the song for you. Uh, so,
I love it. I love it. All right. All right, honey. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.
you too. Thank you.
Bye.